Okay.
Good morning and connecting communities with Brian J. and Laura Lee. I did it right
Good
today.
morning.
Oh, hello. Laura, today's the day.
It's the day.
It is the day that we've been waiting for 4 years and 2 months. Right?
Yeah, for sure. It's been
Yeah.
it hasn't only been 4 years. It feels like it's been more.
Yeah, what a 4 years. Let me just tell you, what a 4 years. Um,
It has.
I feel kind of bad saying this because my 4 years has been decent. I started my new businesses and I've done well, even with situations that have arose. But let me ask you this: have you lost friendships, relationships these 4 years
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because of political, not because of
Absolutely.
them just being a not nice
Right.
person?
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure politics. There's a branch of the family that um does, they voted for Trump in 2016, and they were very vocal saying, oh, he's not that bad. If it does get that bad, we'll support you. We'll be the first person in line saying this is wrong. And
Yeah,
starting, right out the gate with the Muslim ban, and those people were silent, and got a little, did not appreciate being reminded that they said that they would be supportive when things got bad. So and instead of being supportive and following up with their word, and and loving and taking care of the people that you're supposed to be family with, they shut us all out. So it's
yeah. I,
it's
I'm I'm still in shock. Like I'm gonna make people mad when I say this. So I'm preparing for this, right?
okay.
There's just a moral piece for me. Like you can be a Republican and nobody liked him for his policies, right?
Right.
Nobody is applauding his actions that he did for the United States, right? Everyone is applauding him for his attitude, for his words, or lack of, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
um, and his character. There it is. They're applauding his character, they're not applauding the job. Does that make sense?
Well, there's not much to applaud, because the
Right?
only thing he did was the only thing that was accomplished was the tax cut. And that was when Paul Ryan was still in charge of the House of Representatives. That was when they had united government. So that was, I think, in 2018 when they passed that, 17 or 18. So that's really, that's all that they have. They said that they were going to repeal the Affordable Health Care Act. That's still standing and strong, and has more support than it ever has.
Yeah.
They said they're going to build a wall, and Mexico is going to pay for it, and that has not happened. I think there has been some new border wall built on our southern border, but there's not a, you know, giant wall between us and Mexico. And guess what? The stuff that has been built, Mexico didn't friggin' pay for it. Our tax dollars did. So
Right.
they're other than well, and the other thing that they did was stack the federal judiciary with
That
some
is
of
true.
the most incompetent and unqualified people. And that's not just me saying that. That's the American Bar Association, which is not historically a liberal enclave of thinking.
No, you're
So
true.
the
It's just I feel such a sense of relief today. Like I woke up,
yeah.
I'm just a little bit of a mess today, right? The hat was on, you couldn't see my eyes, it was all
That's
dark.
okay. You got my
Um,
laundry here in the background, don't you? I forgot to move that out.
I
So we'll
just
just go over
noticed it.
here.
As your hand's holding it, right? You're like, let me
Yeah,
just do
like
this. I love it. I love it. That's why I love a green screen, right?
yeah.
It is mobile. I can pop it up and I am good. You have no idea the mess that's behind me, ladies and gentlemen. No idea. um, oh, it's funny. I'm like Cat City, USA right now. So speaking of cats and I this is my uh ADHD plus
Yeah.
two. Where's your cat?
It's because since it snowed last night, it's chillier in the basement than normal.
Okay,
So she's in her little snuggle sack in my
got it,
bed. She's
got
being,
it.
she's all, or she's sitting, her new thing is she'll go up to one of my registers on the wall and she like puts her arm on it and then just like leans against the wall and looks at you.
That's hilarious.
It's so
Rocco goes
funny.
into the bathroom and shuts the door. So he'll walk in and then shut the door and then lay in the
Yeah.
bathroom so it stays hot for him and then can't get out.
Hmm. Right, obviously. The lack of
Yeah.
opposable thumbs makes the
Yeah.
exiting hard.
Oh, he's a beast. That dog is an absolute beast. The other night I got home and I'd had my friend staying over there, so I hadn't been home. And I
Hmm.
got there, I took him out, let him off the leash because I was chatting on the phone when the door was open. He was gone. 20
Oh,
minutes.
oh
I ended up
my.
walking in the snow looking for him, came back. He's sitting on the porch, just hanging
Oh,
out.
so
Yeah.
well, that's good. He at least knew where to come home to.
Yeah, you listen. When I got the dog, my therapist, first off, mental health huge. I think everyone needs to be seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist or what else is there? There's a
Somebody,
therapist,
social
psychiatrist,
worker,
social worker.
somebody.
Communication is huge, right? So
Mm-hmm.
at the point, my therapist said, "Hey, Brian, get a dog, right? Focus your energy on the dog." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." So unfortunately, my therapist is
Little did you.
retiring. So I thought about taking this dog and bringing it back to her and say, "Here you
Mm-hmm.
go, get a
Oh
dog
my
now."
God.
This dog has been a beast. I think I shared it when I first got him. I had to manually lotion his genitals, right? Because his skin wasn't stretching and his genitals were so big that it was like pulling
Oh
his
my
skin.
gosh.
For a month,
Nope.
this dog would literally just lay on his back, hands up in the air. I'm like, no, this is
Ah!
this is not the situation that we are doing
You're like,
today. Like
mm-mm,
I'd come home and he just like
this ain't
assumed
it.
position. Cause I had to do it 2 times a day. I'm like, I
Oh
gotta
my
go home, friends.
gosh.
I gotta lube up my dog. Not things you want to say, right?
Right. Things that are, they are confusing when people hear them.
Yeah. Well, it's silly. My aunt just recently got a dog, and I say recently within the last 2 months. And Maggie, or not Maggie, Mr. Man, they had him for about 2 weeks. He's a chinchilla. He's not a chinchilla. He is a I know that. Can you imagine? He's a wiener dog and a what's the chalupa
Chihuahua.
dog? Thank you.
Chihuahua.
Yes.
A
So there's
Chiweenie.
a
He's a
Chiweenie.
Chiweenie.
That's what he is.
Yes.
He's a Chiweenie. For 2 weeks, I had this dog. Week 3, my nephew's looking, or my cousin's looking at him like, "Mom, he's a girl."
What?
So Mr. Man turned into Miss May.
Oh my gosh,
How do
that's
you not know?
hilarious.
Listen, how do you not
I mean,
know?
it's pretty obvious too. Like it's not like, like cats and cats and some other animals it's a little harder to
Yeah,
tell, but like no, a dog makes it pretty obvious.
right. I mean, and I would even think it would be, I could see it if it was a girl and they thought it was a guy, maybe, right? But
Yeah.
if it's a boy dog, you know it's a boy dog.
Right,
Extra parts.
right.
Okay. But boy dogs, I don't like boy dogs. Let me just tell you that. I've always had girl dogs. I am
Yeah.
not a fan. Anytime I send pictures of Rocco, I have to put stars on his package because it's just gross. It's just
I've always
gross.
had boy dogs, so but
Oh,
everybody says that boy dogs are just way dirtier. And I mean, I know when the dogs come over here after, on my weekends with them, and it's like I know they came like the one day like after I got my after my cleaning lady was here, and
yeah.
just like once in and out of them I was like, oh, oh, okay. So because today's inauguration day, I've got it up on I'm watching some live footage
Oh,
over here on the other
pull it
side.
up. Let's check it out.
Here we go. Here, share screen. Here we go.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, he just got on Air Force One.
Okay.
He and Melania, and then here comes Joe and Dr. Jill getting ready to go to church.
Sing it.
Yes, there they are.
Yes.
Yay!
Inauguration 2021.
Woo! Now where's Kamala and Doug? Where are they at? I want to see what they're going
Oh,
on.
she's pretty.
What
I
they
like
got
the
going.
jacket she's wearing.
Yeah. Oh, it's the it's almost like a Tiffany blue, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we know
Fantastic.
who's singing today?
Oh my gosh, yes, it is.
They asked me, but I want to make sure I was here for the podcast.
Oh, well,
So I had to
good.
decline.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to do this without you. Obvi.
They wanted both of us, Laura. I mean, I can't sing what you can
Oh.
sing. Okay. So I mean, we're a package deal. Okay.
It's Gaga. It's Lady Gaga. Singer.
That
Gospel and
I
Lady
love
Gaga. Yeah.
That is the best.
For me.
Oh
Here we
my
go.
gosh, I've got it. That's
She's singing.
amazing.
Gaga's singing the national anthem at 11:30. J-Lo is also going to perform.
J-Lo, is this the Super Bowl show now? Is this what we're doing?
And then tonight you've got Justin Timberlake, Demi Lovato, Bon Jovi, Springsteen, John Legend, Foo Fighters. That's all the stuff at the.
Have you? I've never seen or I've never heard of all of these performers. Have you? Usually there's like one performer, right? And then one at night.
Right.
Well, no, I think because they usually do, obviously this is usually like a huge big day.
Yeah.
So I do think I mean, obviously I've heard of Lady Gaga.
Well, Kelly Clarkson was Bob, and we all know I love Bob and I love me some Kelly Clarkson, right?
Yes, I have this picture from Obama's inauguration, and I don't know how it didn't become a meme. And it was Kelly Clarkson singing, I think singing the national anthem, and Bill Clinton is like right over her. Oh, right over. He's like,
yep.
And it's like you assume he's doing it for the singing, but because it's Bill Clinton, you're like, no, he's probably.
You never know.
Oh, look who came down after you asked about her.
There she is. Hello, kitty kitty.
Hi, Mew Mew. Yeah, so it's it's a cool, I don't know. I'm very excited for today.
I wonder how the climate is going to be regarding people now. Like, what is tomorrow going to bring? Like, is it going to be calmer? Right. Are we going to have the people that are not, I'm not going to say Trump fans, right? But are we going to have non-Biden fans that are going to be picking, right? Pots. Oh. Something I saw. Did you see on TikTok? This is why I love our VP, okay? She was talking to her niece. Yeah. And she was wearing this glittery jacket, and they're like, Auntie. And she's like, yeah, honey. Like, just like, they were on a barbecue, and they were hanging out at the store. Like, hey, honey. I was like, I love you.
Yeah. Yeah,
be my
niece has oh my gosh, I know her niece has great TikToks of Kamala. And I was watching I had a brunch with my parents over the weekend, and we were watching I think it was CBS Sunday Morning, and they were interviewing Doug and Kamala. And she's so chill. She's like very professional and whatever. But there were a few times where her excitement over being the vice president came out, and it just you get such a. That's the thing. You haven't had joy from any of our leaders in 4
not since
years.
Obama. Not
exactly.
Since Obama and Michelle were you able to see that. I mean, it's the same thing, and not to get off subject because we're getting right back on subject on today's deal, but it's when comedians, I love when they're telling a joke and they start laughing before the joke is over.
Exactly.
It's funny, right? Like they are busting it out. I just ended up watching Will and Grace, and they hadn't seen the live episode that they did, and I'm like, here, and you can see Grace and Jack totally laughing as they're telling their lines because it was live and it was hilarious. But those are the best comedians. But back to Kamala, or sorry, Vice President, because we gotta start getting that right. So back to our Vice President. I'm blown away. Look, I am excited. First off, I want to see her dress, right? She has a strong shoe game. So I want to see what this shoe game is going to be with a dress. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm also looking forward to what Doug, aka I like to call him Dougie. That's what we call him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Second dude Doug.
Call him. Yeah, good old Doug. I'd like to see what his platform is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited to see what Dr. Biden's platform is going to be. Because really, what did the other girl do? I can't pronounce her
Oh,
name.
I mean,
What did Milana do?
it was supposed to be
Bullying?
online bullying.
Yeah. Which
Online bullying
a
specifically.
little ironic, don't you think?
Right.
Beyond.
Do you think she
Beyond.
chastised her husband?
Oh, please, no. Have you heard those tapes of, of her talking about decorating the house for Christmas, the White
Yeah,
House
how
for
she hates
Christmas?
Christmas.
Yeah, like she, and that's, I mean, like, and they were talking, they were talking in the news like yesterday or Sunday about about
Biden's Peloton, whether or not he's going to be able to have his Peloton, because they're talking about is it a security risk because it's connected to the internet and everything, but it's like really, the president had his own iPhone for the past 4 years, just tweeting away all types of crazy tweets. Let the man have a Peloton. At least we have a president that cares about his physical health again.
Right. Obama started the phone though. I mean, he made that first stance. Was like, listen, this is my phone. I'm not giving it away. Right.
He at least put security on it though. So.
Right. And he didn't go on a rampage. We're going to be in a different America, ladies and gentlemen. Like, what is Twitter going to do? Like, I'm being serious. Like, they probably hired a staff of just focusing on, what do we call him? Like, I don't want to call him ex-president. Like, I'm just going to say Trump. We're just going to say Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah, just Trump. I'm not even going to say former. I'm just saying Trump. Because I feel like I woke up. Perfect. I feel like it's Roseanne, and I woke up from the dream, and none of the last 2 seasons have happened. There is no, I did not win the lottery. There is no dairy. Okay. This is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
You just woke up. Okay.
Just woke up.
All kidding aside though, what is Twitter going to do? I mean, I saw YouTube already blocked him, right? Twitter blocked him last week. Yeah. Facebook is teetering on blocking. I
think Facebook is waiting until today to say what they're going to do. Yeah, they haven't. They've said they shut him down through the inauguration, but they haven't said what they're going to do after that.
They need to, because
he's
going to go crazy today. Like, which again, this is my situation when you talk about character. As the president is leaving, listen, we know we didn't. Let me phrase this. I got to be politically correct because this is a show with sponsors. Thank you very much, sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
We love you, sponsors.
We love our sponsors.
Yeah. We got 2 new sponsors. I don't think we noticed them, right? So we have 2 brand new ones that I talked about, which is Dance Fam Studio. They're with Kristen Marie, and I can never pronounce his name. Slav. He's Russian. He's a nice guy. That's all I got. Yeah. Oh my God, they're so good dancers, right? Sorry, my phone is going crazy right now because I'm talking. The president is leaving. This is what's on my live feed right now too. So great dance studio. They have a studio in Cleveland and they have one here in Monclova. But the cool thing that I love about them is not only do they deal with dance, but they have like a belly dancing. They have actor characterization. One of my favorite classes is the improv that I was telling you about last week.
Yeah,
absolutely fun class. So one of our brand new sponsors, the second brand new sponsors is Contact Farmer. Now you're going to remember him a couple weeks back with Matthew Firth. He's the gentleman that sends out cards. So a card and a hug, he gets to your email. Speaking of which, he was very sad that he didn't have a contact for you because he wanted to send you a card.
Oh,
and I forgot to tell you
make sure you give him one. Make sure you give him one.
Yeah. But those are 2 brand new sponsors. We still have Stratus Building Cleaning Solutions, as well as Apollo Mobile App Solutions. Those would be our sponsors. So back. So when Bush left and Obama came in.
Well, I think it was, I think that one's different because, Obama termed out too. So,
my point is the other person was not criticizing. Like as a leader, you don't do that. Like, at the end of the day, if you're still, I don't even want to say make America great again, right? But if you are passing that torch, you want to keep that positivity. Like, hey, you know what? We're going to continue going. Trump is not going to do that. He's going to nail out everything to when he was in 2nd grade, he stole a piece of gum. Do you want that person as your president? Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do.
And seeing that, and I can already, and you're right. You can already tell that, like, even though we've gone through 5 years, really 5 years of Trump, just like saying things that would destroy anybody else's career. And he could just say and say and say and say and say. And so like the bar is like in the basement now, but all of a sudden I feel like they're going to raise it all the way back here. So it's like when the first time Joe Biden has, a stuttering misstep, which he has a stutter, so it's going to happen. People are going to be like, oh my God, he's got dementia. He's so old. He can't even do this.
He's got Alzheimer's. Well, it's okay
Right,
if he does, because we have
exactly.
Kamala. Okay, so we're good.
I mean, right. And that's the stuff. And that's, none of it's, on the level. It's all false equivalency. It's all, it's all a bunch of BS, but it is, something that is going to have to be dealt with. Although, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it, but this new conciliatory Mitch McConnell is an interesting,
I don't buy it.
Interesting look. I don't either. I
don't buy
either.
I
But
don't even cut you off. I'm so sorry, Laura. The only thing that could make me swallow that pill is that he had his limit, right? That he was like, okay, I'm out. I listen, I stand on XYZ, but for that, I can't D. My whole biggest thing is
insurrection.
How did Trump win after his comment about grabbing women's parts? Like, that was the kicker. When you have these women that are like gung-ho on him, not that I accept it, but I can understand why the dudes would be about Trump, right? But I
because it's all about toxic
women.
masculinity.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have no idea why a female would be a Trump fan. No concept.
Internalized misogyny. Just, it's just the internalized misogyny. And, if you have spent most of your life in relationships with domineering people who, are going to try to control what, it's very much, there's very much a thing where generally wives vote the way their husbands vote, not the other way around. I personally don't understand it, but I can empathize with
mom's
people
like
who,
my mom's like that. My father, let me just tell you, never in my wildest dreams would I expect him to be a Trump supporter. Never. Yeah. He did not raise me like that. Okay. But he is. And then my mother was. And then I nailed her. I'm like, oh no, we do not do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I think is going to be really hard. And they have, there were about a dozen National Guardsmen that have been sent home from the inauguration, because two for posting and like associating with those anti-government groups that stormed the Capitol. And then another 10 for having, just questionable Facebook posts. And so I've talked about that, how with our police and armed services, I think we're going to, have to do a clean house. And the other thing that they're finding out is that the whole insurrection, these groups, these far right nationalist groups are fundraising on Christian fundraising sites. So we're going to have a really uncomfortable conversation about what has happened with white Christianity in America and what that allows people to, how it allows them to act and behave, and what kind of stuff is tolerated. Armed insurrection apparently is tolerated for, some folks. And I just hope that because I think the news cycle is going to calm down. Temperatures, I think, for not everybody, but temperatures for your more moderate folks are going to come down. And I just hope that we're able to have, some more, at least start some of these hard conversations, which we did.
I think we're going to be a kinder America.
I hope so. Because it's been really rough and mean.
It's been very mean. Like, listen, I'm a super sensitive person. Everyone that knows me knows that. Like, I'll cry real quick, especially if you throw me a commercial with a dad being kind to their children. Blows me away every time. But I just feel like everyone has no patience and everyone is so angry right now. So I'm really hoping that this is going to build that transition. I mean, I think you said it very clear before, where you said, for 5 years we've been dealing with this craziness of Trump and his words. I mean, I would even say it would go back to probably 6-7 years when he started attacking Obama regarding where he was born.
Absolutely.
Like, he was setting himself up back then. to be
Exactly.
president.
Oh yeah, right. And that's oh my gosh, there was a great podcast episode that I listened to about that. Oh, who was it talking to? I can't remember what it was, but they talked about his long history, you know, that he had been a Democratic supporter, you know, monetarily, voting, all that, and he made a calculated choice to change parties and run as a Republican because he saw
Right.
he saw an opening for, you know, his brand of BS that
wasn't able to find its home in the, you know, on the left side of the spectrum. So
Yeah.
and you know, a lot of it has to do with money, I think. And you know, these people who are just absolutely bonkers, they're too freaking rich, man. They're just too rich. It's like, you know, they had to put metal detectors before you could go onto the floor of representatives for
Right.
them. And you know, and that's something that only members of Congress can go. And then people were like, you know, just barreling through the metal detectors and wouldn't even go through the metal detectors. So Nancy Pelosi put on a fine that if you don't go the metal detector, it's X amount of dollars for the first time and X amount of dollars for the second time. Do you know how much the fines are?
Dropped.
They're the first time is $5,000 as a $5,000 fine. Your second time is 10. Like, and so
Wow.
I understand that you want to make it a high number. So, you know, there's a disincentive, but at the same time, that's so out of touch with Americans. Like if an American, like if you violated a rule at your job and a normal person would have to come out of their pocket $5,000, like some people couldn't even come out of your pocket for 500. And it just goes
some people
to
couldn't even
show-
come out of the pocket for 50, Laura.
right. Exactly.
I mean, let's be open and honest. In the America that we're in right now, I mean, we are sitting and waiting for $600. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
exactly. And it's like, you know, it just, and I understand it's like, oh, well, it's because, you know, it's like the NBA. They make them that high because they're that rich. That's my point. Our elected representatives shouldn't be that freaking rich. They shouldn't be that rich.
I agree. I mean,
you know,
we're making money. I mean, he's making money throughout, and that's the thing with
here we go.
Trump.
Let me get a quick share.
Now, people did get mad about him golfing and so forth, right? Listen, every president has golfed. Oh, what's happening?
So they're at church. Oh, we missed it. Kamala and Doug are there. Kamala's in that beautiful purple coat. Do you see her over on the left?
That is. Is it purple or is that blue?
I think that looks like let's call it violet. Let's call it violet.
I went to prom with a girl in that same color dress in the 1900s. Okay. Yeah, and I was so mad because I'm like, I don't know, am I supposed to get a purple tie or a blue tie? Look, it was a moment, okay?
It was,
we had to match, right? The copper bud.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I definitely call that purple, but you know, I can see how it's got the blue hues. But yeah, that's just her jacket so far. We don't know we haven't.
I know what's
seen
underneath.
anything.
I want to see her shoe game. Like I love her some shoes.
Yeah, right now she's just in the regular old black pumps, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so she'll dress it up tonight.
Yep, they're still at church, and before heading over to get the inauguration
festivities started.
I know.
Oh boy.
So exciting.
It really is. I mean, I think at least for the next 2 years while there's united Democratic government, that we can, you know, at least for that, hopefully we can get some good stuff done. You know, obviously first and foremost is going to be COVID, getting relief for businesses, getting relief for Americans, getting getting the vaccines roll out. Here's an interesting question for you. So I listened to a podcast that's based out of Portland and Seattle, you know, the Pacific Northwest area. Oh, hi, Kitty.
I know, Rex. I had to show you.
Yes, it's double kitty episode.
Double kitty episode. You got a kitty, I got a kitty.
Yes. So I listened to this podcast, and the guy lives in Oregon, and he had a dilemma. He was like, "So I've heard there's a place, that I can drive to about 20 minutes from my house, that they consistently are have too much vaccine for the
Wow.
people." Yeah, so like the people who are in whatever group it is in Oregon right now, they're not enough people are taking it, so they're just giving it out. And so his thing was like, is it morally, am I okay to go and get it? Even though I'm not technically in the group, it's not that it's going right now. It's like, it's not technically illegal, but like, what is it morally okay? And the question, and so that was the question that they were asking on the podcast. I think it's fine, because I think it's, just whoever wants it, come get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the experts have said is the better way to do it too. So what do you think? If you found out in like Findlay that they had excess doses of the vaccine that they weren't able to be getting rid of every day, would you sign up and drive down to like Findlay to go get it?
I would not right now, as of right now
No?
today. And here's my reason is I still want more research.
Okay.
Like I still need to kind of see what's happening, what's going on. I am for it. I just don't want to be a test for it.
Right. See,
My
if it was
struggle
me,
is they've been looking for cancer and AIDS and schizophrenia cures for years. And now they have a cure in weeks. It hurts my heart, right? One of the side effects I heard was sterility, right? Which I'm okay with that. I don't need any more kids, but I can't put my son into that risk, right? So those are things that I struggle with at the end of the day.
yeah, no, if it was if it was me, if I found out that, someplace like Findlay or Tippin had extra doses that they, needed to get rid of each day, I'd be camping out. I'd be waiting.
I mean, I believe in it. I just want to see more research. It's still a little too fresh and new for me.
Yeah, I went out with a gentleman and got coffee last night, and he got his second dose yesterday. So he was, he said that after the first dose, the only thing that he had was like his arm was sore, which is normal.
Like a flu shot?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, but he said but he didn't have any other side effects after that. And then second shot was, arm wasn't even sore. It was feeling totally fine. So
that's pretty simple.
I know, it made me very excited to know, like, it's getting closer. It's getting closer.
I'm excited to see his first speech, right?
Yeah.
On what that's going to come on and what that's going to look like. Those are all things that I'm excited about hearing today. So
yeah. I mean, it's going to be his speechwriters have some very important jobs, I think throughout this whole presidency, but definitely today. The State of the Union is going to be, that's going to be a really important one. And I think, and hopefully we'll just see, I'm just looking forward to, regular press updates from the White House too, like getting back to having, the daily briefings.
Agreed.
Even if, even if we get to the point where they're boring and, we're just arguing about, the tan suit that somebody wore.
Those tan suits.
But you know what? I liked that tan suit. If we're being honest, I liked it. Maybe not for like, a midday press conference, but I definitely, it was a church suit. There wasn't anything wrong with that suit.
I agree with that. I think, here's the thing I do think though, is I think that our speeches are going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say cold, static maybe. They're not going to be emotion.
Biden, oh, really? You don't think?
I don't think so. Biden is not going to go rogue. He is not going to speak from his heart in anything like Obama would paraphrase or ad-lib. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. Obama would ad-lib and you could hear the joy in the personal. I don't think Biden is going to be groomed to do that. He's going to say, read this, right? This is how you practiced it.
I think that, so the difference is for that, I think that Obama was just like such a scholarly person
that when the speechwriters would write, they would come from a really scholarly place, and then he would zhuzh it up with his, his barackness, which is
Yeah.
what made, just made him special. And he was just a good orator as well. Like, I could listen to him, read bedtime stories. It wouldn't have to be a moving speech, because he's just a really good orator.
Absolutely.
But I also think you're right. You won't get off the cuff stuff from Joe Biden, because of a part of that is also because of the stutter.
Absolutely. And they don't want people coming on the
practice.
attack for him, because that's what would
Right.
happen, is that people are going to attack
Exactly.
him. And we just can't be doing that kind of stuff at the end of the day. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, he's already got something against him coming into this whole piece, right? At the end of the day.
Right. You've got
already going to be on the attack.
You've got, I think it said 46% of of Republicans don't think that he has been legitimately elected. That's bonkers. Like,
right.
And how, and you got to govern with that.
This was good enough for Trump to win, but it's not good enough for someone else to have that same piece.
Right, exactly. And it's, so that's what I'm looking forward. Obviously you've got in the House of Representatives, things aren't getting any better over there. We're not going to get any calmer heads to prevail, because Liz Cheney, who's the third ranked, House Republican, and daughter of Dick Cheney, all of those same people that voted to overturn the election are now
trying to get her ousted from Republican leadership.
Right.
So, I think that's what I think Mitch McConnell knows that it's basically going to be up to him of whether or not the Republican Party becomes the Patriot Party, the Trump Party, which is what they're trying to call it. They're trying to spin off and start a new party, sort of like the Tea Party did. But and that there is still a faction of that in the Republican Party. But we don't need a Tea Party and Patriot Party faction. They're like, that's, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would work out well for Democrats that you've got too many competing coalitions in the Republican Party now, and that it's impossible, that they can't hold together enough, people, enough of a block to vote, to block stuff anymore. But I don't know. We'll see. And it all comes down if Mitch McConnell is going to vote for impeachment, or conviction. We'll see. I don't think he will. He should, because it'd be the best thing for the Republican Party is to convict him and prevent him from ever holding federal office again.
He's going to run again.
He is, if they don't block him. If they don't block him with convicting him for impeachment and blocking him from ever holding federal office again, he absolutely will run for president in 4 years.
Yep.
Which I don't think our country could survive it again.
I don't know how. Listen, I don't know how he won the first time, but there's no doubt in my mind that he would win the second. In saying that, I expected him to win this one. I did too. Yeah. I was prepared for that to happen.
I was too. Especially since it is, the incumbent usually statistically has the advantage. The person who's already in office statistically is more likely to keep it. So the fact that he lost, being the incumbent, it was surprising too. But, it shouldn't be, because the Republicans have not had a popularly elected president since HW. George Bush was not, W, he didn't win his first popular vote.
Yeah.
That was the Supreme Court that got
Florida Gate. I will never remember. Oh, I won't forget that one.
Trump didn't win his first election. Steve Bannon played an amazing electoral college game, which they couldn't recreate. So it's we got blasted by a technicality. We got, with that electoral college math that they did. And I hopefully we will never let that mess happen again,
one way or the other.
I mean, here's the thing is I'm excited to see what Jackson's kids are going to hear about this.
Right. I want to know for sure what story history tells about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got like 11 minutes and I made a mistake. I forgot to
What'd
name
you
one of our
do?
sponsors as I was counting. I only had 4. So number
Uh-oh.
5, I know.
Yeah.
Number 5 would be Justin Anus with Remax Preferred. So he's our realtor, right? So if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, he is a gentleman to reach out to. So Justin, I'm so sorry. We were just saving you for now.
Yes, we're
We
saving
talked
you for
about the White House
for
and moving.
special.
It was a segue to talk about you as a realtor.
Yeah. Right. You don't have to it's not just the White House in DC. You could move to White House, Ohio
The White
with
House.
Justin from Remax.
Oh my God, Laura, we need to write that down. That's like an ad right now, right? Well,
Oh my gosh, I'm so smart.
I would like to know how many fireworks were bought for today, because fireworks are going to be going off tonight.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of fireworks. Are you a fan of fireworks?
I like to watch them. I don't want to touch them.
Yeah.
I don't trust myself.
Same thing. They scare me. Even sparklers. I don't like sparklers.
Oh, no, I will not do fireworks. I feel like I'm Katy Perry now. I will not do fireworks on the river. Because what goes up comes down. Okay.
Exactly.
And I'm down there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That is what
My
I'm saying.
animals don't like them. Do your cats like them?
I got her after the 4th of July, so I'm not sure how she would react. The dogs are pretty chill. We used to take Oscar out on the boat with us. We would go for 4th of July at Round Lake up in Michigan near which is right by Devil's Lake. Devil's Lake would do the fireworks, and so we'd sit on the boat on Round, and he never minded them. He would just sit on my lap.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah. We didn't even get to talk about what's going on. So how's school?
School is good. I've got one of my classes that I thought was going to be difficult, my budgeting class. I don't think that's going to be as hard as I thought. Okay. My policy class, which I was super excited about, is going to be way more work than I thought. He assigns like about 150 to 200 pages of reading each week. And like, you have to do it because you have to write papers about it. You can't fake it till you make it on a discussion on this one. You gotta, so, just making sure, keeping on top of that and doing good time management is the name of the game for this semester.
Sometimes that's all you need, right?
Right. I mean, time management is the name of the game pretty much all the time. If you really break it down, moms are, amazing time managers, so it's all about just
knowing your strengths.
True story.
Making sure not to get too far behind.
So you mentioned quickly that you had coffee yesterday. How was coffee?
I did. It was nice. It was nice. I think it was like, more of a friend conversation than anything else, but it was nice.
It's the best way to start it out, right? When you can laugh and be yourself, like you're meeting just a client or a friend, that pressure is off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Sure.
When I met my significant other, it was the same thing. We kind of just met in a different circumstance, and it just kind of organically blossomed until one day we realized, hey, I think we're in a relationship.
Right.
This is day 4 that I'm staying here. I think we're, it just kind of snuck in, and
now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was chatting with one of my buddies. And he's single, and he's like, I'm like, so what's been going on the last couple of months? He's like, well, I think I was in a relationship and I didn't know it until we broke up.
That would be a guy saying that too.
He's like, I didn't even know until they broke up with me, and then I realized, were we in a relationship?
Oh my gosh.
That's wrong. I mean, that's probably why they broke up with you. I mean,
right, exactly.
That happens a lot, Laura. That happens a lot where people, it's one-sided, right? because communication isn't there. And then you think
Right.
you're in a relationship until, you walk to their house and you find other people there. And then you're like, oh,
Or yeah,
maybe not.
or people, it's you spend most time talking and getting to know each other over text instead of, over the phone. So, it's easier to have miscommunications when you're only, going back and forth over
Absolutely.
text. So
I'll never forget. This is back in the 1900s, right? When Susan and I first started dating.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I was sick as
They
can
had just
be.
invented the wheel. Mhm.
True story. I was so sick, and my coworker came to the house to bring me chicken noodle soup. Well, apparently Susan was there, and she was mad. I wasn't like, in my mind, we weren't seeing each other. We
Oh,
were just friends. Like,
yeah.
there was never no kissing. There was never no flirting on my end. Nothing
Right.
like that, right? And oh, she was so mad. And that was kind of when I thought, oh, what was I giving off to make her
Right.
think that we were talking, like, because back in my day in the 1900s, we were talking right before we were
Right.
dating. So now it's
Exactly.
texting is the new talking.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
how
I
it
mean, you
works?
could
See,
have
I
a
don't
whole
know
new
these things.
relationship just via text, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. So it was a nice coffee date. The thing that was difficult though is we wanted to go to one place to have coffee and they didn't have any in-person seating. So we had to go and take our coffee and go to like a bar, which like
uh
luckily the bar that we went to is a neighborhood bar and they're super
Nice.
cool, and like other people that were there while we were there ordered
Had
like
coffee too.
no, they ordered pizza. They had a pizza delivered to the bar. So it's like,
Nice.
it's a very neighborhood chill place. So
Cool.
yeah, it
Was it
was
downtown
nice.
by chance?
Nope, South
Okay.
Toledo.
Okay.
Ernest Brewworks.
Oh,
Give
I
him a
love.
shout out.
Listen, I used to live right beside there. I lived right
Oh
down in that
yeah.
area. I loved Ernest Brewery. It was definitely one of my favorites. They also do on Fridays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. One of our clients, PM Frosted Fantasies, um, comes out.
Yes.
Yeah, and they'll do their
Yeah, they have
cupcakes.
food trucks there all the
Amazing.
time.
I used to get them for my
Mhm.
birthday, and I'll go pick them up. I love Mark and Peg. They are amazing. Hi, Mark. Hi, Peg. Get your cupcake. Um, We'd love to have you as a sponsor too. No,
Yes.
we wouldn't, because we would eat the cupcakes. And
I know, right?
yeah, right.
It's
Speaking of
already
eating
bad enough.
cupcakes, Laura, guess how much I weigh right now?
How much do you weigh? How much? Tell me.
235.4. So let me tell you why that's important to me. I know, right? So
Woo!
everyone knows 2 years ago, I was over 300 pounds. I busted myself for 6 months, right? Dropped down to like 228. Christmas of 2017, 18, 19, 18. Christmas of 2018. And life happened at that point. Like, a lot of crazy stuff
Mhm.
happened. And I was like, done, right? I just started eating stuff. And then COVID happened. And I got myself all the way up to about 270. And at that point,
Mhm.
at my lowest, I was in like a very close large shirt. So I teetered between large
Mhm.
and extra large, and I went all the way back up to a very strong 2X, like almost 3. And I went and I
Yeah.
bought a 3X shirt, and I thought, I just gave myself permission, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, I went
Yeah.
and took it back. I'm like, I want my money back. And I bought me another large shirt. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. So through everything the last few months, I've dropped down. So I am less than 10 pounds away from my goal weight again.
Excellent.
Right. But
That's
here's
so
the difference,
good.
is at my skinniest, I still looked in the
Mhm.
mirror, right? And I was pretty thin. Like, for me, I
Yeah,
felt like it was too thin. But I remember going, just 10 more pounds. I just need 10 more
I
pounds.
know.
I
I
look at
know,
myself now, 10 pounds heavier than my lightest, and I'm like, I look good. I'm good. I
right?
look great with clothes on, right? Like, I look great with clothes on and the right angle with a camera. Woohoo! Okay.
Mhm. Right? That's all that really matters, as long as you get the angle and the lighting right.
Right? But you gotta be okay with that. And I'm at a point where I'm okay with it, right? Like, I'm
Yeah,
okay with the way I look right now. And
I
people aren't
know.
like that. So I'm hoping with this
I know.
transition of Inauguration Day today, people can let go of some of these things and these toxic things in our life and focus on some of these
Exactly.
positive things now too.
For sure. For sure. I know my mom keeps, being saying stuff about that, about like, oh, I need to go to the gym. Oh, I need to do this. I'm like, Mom, you are 68 years old. If anybody, there's a time in your life that you get to let go of those things, it's
Right?
now.
It's today.
Yeah.
True story. True story.
So,
Well, it is about that time to wrap us up, unfortunately. What's on the agenda the rest of the day other than staying live on Facebook? I'm sorry, live on YouTube. So that's a way if you don't have cable, right? And you have the
yep,
Hulu and you don't have Hulu Live, because Hulu Live is a little expensive. It's like 20
it
something
is.
bucks.
Oh,
right?
they keep raising it every month, it seems like.
I do the no commercials for $11.99 because I ain't about commercials.
Mhm.
But let me tell you, I have no idea what is going on in this world. Like I have no idea what movies came out because I don't have commercials.
Oh,
But
yeah.
YouTube is doing it live all day today. But what are you doing, Laura? Where are you watching? What are you going to watch? Do you have class?
I will. I do have class tonight, so I've got some homework to do, and I'll just be, peeping in on MSNBC watching. I know I will be doing a episode for Toledo Talks later today. I didn't do one on Tuesday yesterday because last time I recorded on a Tuesday when there was big news on a Wednesday. I was sorry to have not waited. So yeah, I'm going to do, so you can hop on over on Toledo Talks on Facebook, where I always live stream my episodes and you can always download that later. So yeah, that's my day. Just watching our, movement in our country, movement forward, a new administration, a new government, a new day.
A different America. That's what I'm going to call it. It's not about making it great again, right? It's about being a different America.
Yes.
We'll see how that works.
Empathetic America.
Yeah. Why don't you wrap us out and we'll get out of here?
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to thank you again to our sponsors, Dance Fam, Justin at Remax, Stratus Building Solutions, The Contact Farmer, and Apollo. You can find me, Laura Lee, on Facebook at Toledo Talks, also on Instagram and Twitter. You can find Brian here at Connecting Communities, and everywhere else. You find him. He's all.
I'm loud.
They'll
find me.
They'll find me. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.